Tonight in 7 News, haunted by a double drowning tragedy. A Good Samaritan reveals his desperate attempts to save two fathers from rough surf on the Sunshine Coast. Stranded overnight in dense bush, rescuers finally reached two hikers on the southeast's highest peak. Properties under threat on Fraser Island as firefighters call in an aerial assault to help them push back the flames. Border breach. New South Wales Police admit fault as two international tourists skip quarantine and put a plane load of people at risk. Plans for Brisbane's new mega park unveiled, but it'll be years before we can enjoy it. And a roaring reception to a teenager's rendition of the Australian anthem sung in a different language.
Live from Brisbane, 7 News with Kendall Gilding.
Good evening. There's been an outpouring of grief and shock over the death of two fathers who drowned while trying to save their children from rough surf on the Sunshine Coast yesterday afternoon. The men, both in their 30s, have been hailed as heroes, and so too the strangers who desperately tried to help.
Fathers and husbands remembered as heroes. The family road trip started off with happy memories along the popular camping spot. But that all changed when Danny J. Kabbalah and Richard Capbagan ran into dangerous surf to rescue their children at Tiwa Beach.
It's a very selfless act. They understood what potentially could have been, and unfortunately the worst of the worst did happen.
Frantic family members waved down Brock and Alana Harris, who were driving past.
I asked what was wrong and they said they're drowning.
Brock didn't hesitate, jumping into the water straight away.
I saw a man in front of me in the distance, but I'd kind of just lost him in the waves.
The 23-year-old and other bystanders managed to find the two men and swim a 9-year-old boy and a third man to safety.
I don't know how I just kept swimming, I just did.
But Brock says he's only alive after his pregnant partner swam out to him on a boogie board.
The rips were just taking everybody, so I didn't want to risk losing Brock.
On the isolated and unpatrolled beach, they tried desperately to revive the men.
My heart honestly goes out to each and every one of them. I wish I could give them another big hug.
Including the 9-year-old who was treated at the scene after losing his dad.
I was just very scared and distraught.
He was taken to the Sunshine Coast University Hospital and has since been released. Brock and Alana have also praised the other bystanders who helped. Incredibly, there were off-duty doctors, nurses, a firefighter, as well as a surf lifesaver who'd been camping nearby. In a tribute online, Richard's wife says, "I love you so much. Goodbye, our hero." Marlena Wapp, 7 News.
Two Brisbane brothers have been airlifted to safety after one of them was injured falling down a cliff on southern Queensland's highest mountain. They waited out the night in dense bush with rescuers who'd crawled on hands and knees to reach them.
The rugged and remote terrain that gives Mount Superbus its beauty made for a challenging rescue. The nearby wreckage of an RAAF bomber which crashed during another rescue mission, a reminder of the perils for pilots. After an uncomfortable night on the side of the southeast's highest peak, the first of the hikers emerges from the dense canopy unhurt. Unlike his brother, winched out hours later.
I believe it's lower back injuries, possibly even some fractured ribs.
He fell 10 metres down a cliff yesterday morning while taking a shortcut to a creek as the men in their 20s were running low on water. The uninjured brother climbed to a ridge so he could get mobile reception and called 000. SES volunteers, firefighters and a paramedic battled thick scrub for 3 hours to reach the brothers.
On their hands and knees yesterday, climbing up the hill.
But by then the crews were losing light and the only safe option was to wait until morning.
They're in reasonably good spirits. Having gone down the side of the cliff face there, I've had a look at it. I wouldn't be doing it.
To give you an idea, this is the kind of dense bushland where the hikers were found. Rescue crews used chainsaws to clear a path so the injured brother could be winched out. Authorities say the men were well prepared and experienced.
One of the brothers, I believe, has gone to Everest Base Camp.
But proof even a mountain the 8th of Everest's height is not to be underestimated. Alex Lewis, 7 News.
Homes and property are under threat on Fraser Island as a raging bushfire burns out of control. The township of Happy Valley was told to evacuate as an extreme heatwave continues to sweep across the state.
Through thick smoke, 10,000 litres dumped in seconds. The Canadian Conair water bomber, one of 17 aircraft, pouring in excess of 1.3 million litres of water on Fraser Island today. A second large tanker to fly from New South Wales and help drop even more tomorrow.
They are using everything that they've got to contain this fire.
A warning to leave immediately was issued this afternoon for a fire on the outskirts of Happy Valley before conditions eased.
We'll have aircraft on the fire from first light tomorrow to try and knock that fire down as best we can.
Efforts hampered by high temperatures and strong winds as an extreme heat wave continues to scorch the southeast.
We're seeing temperatures about 5 to 10 degrees above average for this time of year.
The mercury peaked early in Brisbane, hitting 33.2 at 10:27 this morning. Longreach and Winton were the hottest spots in the state at 46 degrees, while Ipswich reached 39.9.
When they say 40 degrees, they're not kidding.
Dads and kids escaping the heat however they could.
We didn't bring any towels, so just let them run riot.
I'm going everywhere.
If you don't feel like getting wet and your balance isn't too bad, the ice rink might be the best way to get some exercise without breaking a sweat.
There's definitely crowds of people coming in, getting out of the heat. It's nice.
It's pretty cold. It's actually really cold.
A cool change the rest of the southeast will have to wait for until Wednesday. Elliot Chipper, 7 News.
Well, let's go to Paul Burt now. And Bertie, the Bureau is forecasting severe storms for the southeast.
Yeah, absolutely there. We're going to have a trough pushing towards the coast. Most likely in the afternoon it'll start to really affect the southeast sector, more so Ipswich, even all the way towards Gympie and Double Island Point regions. But the Gold Coast and Brisbane City regions more so around 4 to 6 p.m. And that'll be triggered by those hot northerlies. But today's temperatures, have a look at that. It absolutely scorched out to 43 in the western districts. Again, the cooler place to be along the coast. I'll have more weather for you shortly, Ken.
Thanks, Bertie. We'll see you soon. There are calls for the Prime Minister to step in and overturn a decision to disband the Special Air Service's 2nd Battalion. It was one of the recommendations of the inquiry into alleged war crimes. Tonight, we can reveal that decision is on hold as members threaten to walk out.
Graduation day at the Defence Force Academy in Canberra. Young guns marching into an army marred by allegations of war crimes in Afghanistan.
It's been a particularly difficult year, we know.
Next Tuesday, a parade was due to be held in Perth. A farewell to the SAS Regiment's 2nd Squadron, disbanded following the Brereton war crimes report.
To adjust and then re-raise a different squadron.
But 7 News can reveal the parade has been cancelled as about 60 members of the SAS threaten to quit. Some discharge notices have already been submitted.
They're absolutely outraged at this continuation of the collective punishment that they are all being subjugated to.
It's further backlash from within the ADF community over the handling of the Afghanistan inquiry and follows widespread outrage over the decision to strip the Meritorious Unit Citation, a special award given to hundreds of special forces.
The collateral damage effect that it is having on our veteran community is enormous and not being taken into account.
Defence says it still plans to disband the regiment's 2nd Squadron when the implementation plan is fully developed, but members are now calling for the decision to be overturned.
The Prime Minister has to step in. The veteran community is hurting. Members of the Special Forces are hurting.
And crying out for support. Jennifer Beshwati, 7 News.
New South Wales Police confessed they're to blame for allowing 2 German travellers to fly from Sydney to Melbourne bypassing hotel quarantine, and they were only discovered by chance.
We always knew international travellers would be the biggest risk to our COVID-free status, but no one expected this.
Something's gone wrong in New South Wales. Let's get to the bottom of that.
A 53-year-old German woman and her 15-year-old son, dual nationals, arrived in Sydney from Tokyo yesterday morning. They were in the queue for hotel quarantine when they spoke to police, who thought they had an exemption and then allowed them to fly to Melbourne. Here, they made it to the car park when a security guard approached. He realised the error and alerted health officials, who finally took the pair into quarantine.
They are the first, albeit inadvertent, occupants of Victoria's reset hotel quarantine system.
New South Wales Police say it was an honest mistake by officers at Sydney Airport.
They had a conversation with an officer, and during that conversation
There's been a misunderstanding and a lack of communication.
There'll be no formal action against the passengers or the officer, but bizarrely, the federal government says the system worked.
Ultimately, these passengers have been picked up within those rings of containment.
The Premier says it was blind luck the security guard spotted something wrong.
There was some good fortune there, and sometimes you need a little bit of that.
The 2 Germans have tested negative, but everyone else on their flight, VA838, landing in Melbourne yesterday at 1:25, is considered a close contact.
There is some significant challenges still for the 176 people who were on that flight.
All this and our hotel quarantine program hasn't even officially started yet.
The man tasked with approving the COVID vaccine has urged the community to think about others when deciding to get a shot. While the vaccine won't be mandatory, Professor John Skerritt from the TGA says the vaccine will have to pass rigorous safety tests before rollout. He said those choosing not to get the vaccine should consider how it will impact the lives of people around them.
It's not something that you're doing for yourself. It's something you're doing for a wider family and for the public good. And that's why it's so important.
The TGA is expected to approve use of the vaccine next month. Donald Trump has ramped up his claims of election fraud, holding a so-called victory rally in a state he lost in last month's presidential election. But some fear his presence in Georgia and his fight to overturn the vote could end up hurting the Republican Party.
With a signature fist pump, President Trump leaves the White House jetting to Georgia for his first rally since the November 3rd election. Immediately questioning the count that delivered Democrat Joe Biden a win here by 12,000 votes.
You know, we won Georgia, just so you understand.
Election fraud claims rejected in court case after court case, dominant in Donald Trump's 100 minutes with the microphone.
They cheated and they rigged our presidential election, but we will still win it.
At one point sharing a lengthy montage of video clips to back the voter fraud claims.
It just doesn't add up. There's no way Biden would have won the presidency.
We're going to follow the Constitution, and Trump will be our president still.
My president has a spine and a backbone, and he has stood up for the American people, and I'm going to stand up for him.
The president campaigning for 2 Republican senators in a runoff race that could shift power in the US Congress. This as the Washington Post reports only 27 of 249 Republicans in Washington acknowledge Joe Biden won the election, and President Trump wants their names. Hours before he arrived here in Georgia, the president was on the phone to the governor, urging him to help overturn the state's election result. Party officials are worried, though, these voter fraud claims could backfire and discourage Republicans from turning out to vote at all in this Senate race.
Thank you, Georgia. Get out and vote.
In Valdosta, Georgia, Ashley Mullaney, 7 News.
A canopy walk, high ropes course and natural play areas will begin to take shape at Victoria Park Golf Course. The inner city site will be Brisbane's largest park development in 5 decades, but the finished product is years away.
Welcome to the future Victoria Park, where children can run wild in natural playgrounds. Tourists can wander through the cultural hub and explore a treehouse or canopy walk.
We're going to have a green heart in Brisbane City.
It's a 45-hectare blank canvas, stage 1 costing council $83 million to transform.
It's nice having open space around, so yeah, it should be a great idea.
2,000 locals came forward with almost 5,500 ideas for the space, including off-leash dog areas and more trees.
At the moment, the tree cover is around 10% of the land area. We want to bring that up over the coming years to 60%.
A transport strategy is being developed.
We will see a new Cross River rail station built nearby. We'll see 2 metro stations servicing the park, and also we're going to have a look at how we manage parking.
The golf course will close in June next year when stage 1 will begin. That's expected to take 4 years.
I suspect that probably one of the first things to happen will be work starting on the construction of the lake.
Part of the area will remain open while work is underway. The park will open in stages.
30 years ago, South Bank was a very different place, and I imagine that Victoria Park in 30 or 40 years' time will be a much greener place to bring your children.
And a place to create quality memories. Amelia Radham, 7 News.
A pre-game performance has stolen the show at last night's rugby test between the Wallabies and Argentina. Advance Australia Fair was sung in 2 languages, creating plenty of goosebumps and sparking fresh debate.
16-year-old Olivia Fox making history. The Australian anthem sung first in the Eora language, then in English, a first on the international stage.
I was so excited. It still doesn't feel real, you know, I feel like I'm in a dream.
The special moment still sinking in for the Western Sydney student, a proud Wiradjuri teenager, talent and hard work making for a powerful rendition.
A lot of work goes into it, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
On backup vocals, the Wallabies, who also practiced, nailing their big moment.
It was never a question. We're very proud to have that opportunity to do it, and I think it sounded pretty good too.
As for whether the Wallabies captain thinks the anthem should become permanent,
I guess that's going to be something that's going to be discussed.
From Indigenous former Wallaby Kirtley Beale on Instagram, this was special. But not all agreed. Indigenous NRL star Latrell Mitchell posting, changing the anthem's language doesn't change the meaning. For Olivia, she sees it as a step in the right direction.
I want people to hear it, you know, I want people to learn about the Indigenous culture and, you know, I want everyone to just unite and feel as one.
Also beaming with pride, Olivia's mum.
Forever, ever singing, ever, all the time.
Angie Asimus, 7 News.
Paris burns for the second weekend running the new security laws that have sparked violent clashes in the French capital. An NRL player left bloodied and bruised, then charged after an alleged pub brawl. Up in flames, fire crews fight to save one of New York City's oldest churches. And before weathering tonight's flashback, the surprising reason the SES was formed.
From the brazen, the sophisticated, to the dumb, and even dumber. For months, they've been secretly recorded. Now, the exclusive video. Thieves treating building sites like self-service, stealing by the trailer load. A warning to Queensland tradies and home renovators. On 7 News, Monday.
The Big Bash Fast Start. 7 nights in a row at 7 on 7 May.
That is unbelievable.
It's the biggest start ever, with every team in action.
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
They're coming from around the world to face our homegrown heroes.
It's on fire now, Chris Lynn. Maxi hits that. That's gone all the way.
Every night, every team get together and get starstruck.
The title goes to the Sydney Sixers.
The Big Bash starts Thursday on 7 May.
Dad, I hit somebody.
Don't tell anyone, not ever. You've got your whole life ahead of you. We decide what the truth is.
The brand new event series, Your Honour, premieres tomorrow only on Stan. Save up to 15% on your first year's premium when you get a new Allianz Comprehensive Car Insurance policy online. And join thousands of satisfied Allianz customers. Search for your quote today.
I don't like people playing tricks on me.
It's not a trick, it's war.
He's getting on. War hurts.
Hey!
Run for your lives!
Fire!
The War with Grandpa, in cinemas now.
Well, it's time for wrinkles. Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repair. We've got the retinol that gives you results in 1 week. Not just any retinol, accelerated retinol SA. 1 week, it's all it takes. Neutrogena.
Fantastic furniture. Find your fantastic.
Summertime is the perfect time for Light and Easy. Our new summer menu has over 100 delicious, nutritious meals to choose from, so you can look after your health and enjoy more free time during this busy time of year. And now we're also giving every customer 10 chances to win $10,000, just in time for Christmas. Make summertime the perfect time with Australia's #1 healthy meal delivery service. Order from Light and Easy's summer menu for your chance to win.
We're announcing something big. The big deal is now on at Mazda, and we're putting value on 2020 plate vehicles front and centre, like CX-5 Max from $32,990 drive away. Search Mazda offers today.
Tasty, affordable and delicious. What's for dinner in the next break with Coles?
Up-and-coming Raiders player Tom Starling has been charged with assaulting and resisting police during a wild brawl at a pub on the New South Wales Central Coast. The 22-year-old was celebrating a birthday with friends when police say one of the group was asked to leave the venue, sparking the alleged violence. 3 other men were also charged. Fresh violence has erupted in Paris from locals angry at new laws aimed at restricting police scrutiny in the media. Dozens of people were injured in the mayhem as President Macron comes under increased pressure to back down.
The French call them casseurs, hoodlums who caused chaos, damaging stores, torching cars and targeting police. A second weekend of protests in Paris and across France, often peaceful as thousands marched, but at times violent as hundreds of hooded agitators infiltrated the crowds. Dozens were arrested, many were injured as police used tear gas to clear the streets. French President Emmanuel Macron is pressing ahead with plans to restrict the circulation of images of police in the media and online, banning the broadcast of videos like this, allegedly showing police brutality.
I took a hit from a truncheon by a riot policeman, which broke my neck. Since then, I've been scared of police.
We're heading towards an increasingly significant limitation of freedom, which is absolutely unjustified.
The legislation is now being rewritten.
D'ordre moral.
President Macron this week denied he's limiting people's freedoms and disputes claims French police are institutionally racist, but it's doing little to quell the anger in France or the violence that often follows. In London, Sarah Greenhalgh, 7 News.
An inferno has destroyed one of New York City's oldest sites. A huge blaze engulfed a historic 19th century church in Manhattan's East Village. Inside was New York's Liberty Bell, which rang to mark the birth of America in 1776. It's also rung for the inauguration and death of every US president. The bell is yet to be recovered, but church officials hope it can be saved. 4 firefighters were injured, bringing the blaze under control. A daredevil has climbed a Spanish skyscraper without any safety ropes or equipment. 20-year-old Englishman George King scaled the 33-storey Agbar Tower in Barcelona unaided. He free-climbed a London high-rise last year, which landed him a stint behind bars. King says he made the climb to spread some festive cheer. It only happens once a year in a spectacularly timed event, sending scientists to the Great Barrier Reef to see it happen. The Queen to be among the first to receive a COVID vaccine, but the palace says it's not special treatment. The new funding plan to help women with good ideas get started. And after sport, blown away how residents are coping with a wind-borne weed invasion.
Protecting us from nuclear attack, the original role for Queensland's SES volunteers. Flashback 7 News coming up soon.
I sincerely hope someone has died.
We believe it may have been murder. Bring me facts.
The evidence is right there in front of you.
This is my favourite part. We're off to catch the culprit.
I imagine you want to know why.
Worth asking a question.
What did you think of the ending?
The ending was marvellous, moving, touching.
Well, I can't think of any other way it could have happened. Can you?
There's one place you can piece together all the great British mysteries. Here's a clue.
Hi guys, Michael Weldon here. Tonight's What's for Dinner is all about an Aussie classic way of cooking, the barbecue. It's all about getting outside, firing the barbie up and cooking for those people that you love. So tonight we're going to make a little bit of a festive inspired dish, a pork and peach skewer with a beautiful peach glaze. The first thing we need to do is start our glaze. I'm going to put a pot on, medium high heat, and we're going to add in a nice drizzle of olive oil. And then into that we're going to add in diced onion. So we're going to fry up our onion. Once that starts to soften, we're going to add in our aromats. So we've got cumin seed, coriander seed and some dried chili flakes. Add in a little pinch of salt to help bring all the flavour together. And then we can go in with our peaches. Just chopped up, seeds removed. Now to our glazed ingredients, we're going to add just some sugar to help turn it into a nice glaze, and when it cooks to give you that nice caramelisation. And then a good splash of apple cider vinegar. Now we just want to simmer this until all those peaches are nice and soft. While that happens, we're going to make our skewers. So I've got some beautiful pork shoulder here, 800 grams, diced up. All I then do is start threading our pork onto our skewers. And then I've got some nice slices of peach and some little red onion petals. And I reckon you can agree that's a pretty cool looking skewer, perfect for the barbecue, nice, summery and fresh. I'm going to keep skewering these guys. I'm going to cook this glaze down until it's all soft. I'll blend it, I'll take these skewers and I'll meet you guys outside on the barbecue and show you how to cook it. So our skewers are ready. You can see pork, peach, red onion all on there. We've made our glaze. I've just drizzled these in olive oil, seasoned them with a little bit of salt. And all you want to do is once you've got them on the barbie, just give them a little paste with your glaze. And then every time you turn, you give them a nice little glaze until you've got a beautiful charred, caramelised glaze. 8 skewers is going to easily feed 4 people. And in half an hour for less than $20, you've got a really quick and easy midweek meal. Serve them with a little side of the beautiful, crisp baby lettuce leaves and some cucumber. Dress it with a little bit of lemon. There you have a lovely What's for Dinner dish. For this recipe and loads of others, make sure you check out coles.com.au. These pork skewers are What's for Dinner. Guys, have a beautiful festive season and as always, happy eating.
There's a mass synchronised reproduction happening off the coast of North Queensland and scientists couldn't be happier. Once a year, the Great Barrier Reef comes alive for the coral spawning, and this weekend it started right on cue.
When the moon sets the mood and the waters are warm, Mother Nature takes over and there's sex on the reef.
Pretty much corals are having babies.
Timing is everything for this perfectly coordinated act.
When we jumped in the water last night, we were met with an underwater snowstorm of just tiny pinhead-sized bundles containing both sperm and egg.
Scientists still can't predict exactly where and when the spawning will happen.
When you see the eggs come out and the sperm come out from the rocks, you realise that it actually is a living organism.
It lasts for 3 nights and only happens once a year. The new life is essential to the Great Barrier Reef's regeneration and recovery.
The stronger corals go on to live. They sort of pass on their genes, and so it helps to provide a stronger reef.
Which is more important than ever after the reef experienced its 3rd mass bleaching in 5 years.
Scientists have called this year's event spectacular and say it's the best coral spawning they've seen in more than a decade.
We actually lost count of the amount of different species that were spawning at the same time.
Ready for round 2 tonight. Georgia Terry, 7 News.
The Queen and Prince Philip will be among the first in line to get the Pfizer COVID vaccine, but won't be given preferential treatment. The first jab is expected Tuesday our time, but Russia claims to be a step ahead with its program already underway.
Inside the St Petersburg lab where some of the 2 million doses of the Sputnik 5 vaccine will be made as Russia begins its round-the-clock COVID vaccination program. I feel great, this woman says. Doctors and teachers are among the first to get the jabs here, but people over 60 and those with underlying conditions won't, with questions still about whether the vaccine is safe.
Of course I had doubts, especially given that all the clinical trials haven't ended, but I decided to go ahead and protect myself with all possible options.
It's claimed the vaccine is 92% effective, but critics believe these scenes and Russia's speed in developing and rolling out a vaccine are more about politics and pride than science and safety, as Britain aims to become the first Western nation to roll out the Pfizer vaccine this week.
So I'm going to be putting it onto your upper arm.
Nurses in Coventry have been training as the vials packed in dry ice are distributed across Britain. These special freezers are being sent out across the country too. Hospital patients will be among the first to get it, along with staff at aged care homes.
It's important, and I'm pleased that I'm not going to be at risk of passing the virus on to other people, including the residents where I work and my family and friends.
But it comes with a warning. As England emerges from its lockdown, it'll take months for the vaccination program to take full effect. In London, Hugh Whitfeld, 7 News.
Australian women are still struggling to convince investors to fund their businesses. The industry minister concedes female-led startups face far more challenges than their male counterparts, but hopes new government funding will give them a chance to grow.
Reaching a new generation through new technology.
Thought, wow, imagine we could tell the right story at the right time in the right place if you just held your mobile phone up to a cultural site.
Michaela Jade is helping students in remote communities learn from elders about Indigenous culture through augmented reality, Minecraft and coding.
I've almost quit the company 3 times and I've had to go back to being a park ranger twice.
Partnering with tech giants Microsoft and Telstra after being rejected by investors as too high risk.
Because we were female, because we were Indigenous, because we're working in cutting edge tech and because we're doing this from regional and remote communities.
Schools with her program have fewer students skipping class and more taking coding lessons in school holidays. It's one of 51 female-founded startups receiving government grants of up to $480,000.
Female-founded businesses really struggle to get the capital that they need to grow, so the government has stepped in.
Also backing 23-year-old Stephanie Weiss, a biomedical engineering student helping women with breast cancer.
To make them feel more confident, give them their dignity back.
Printing breast prostheses for women who've had mastectomies, personalised to fit their bodies.
If I can change the lives of some of these women, that would just make me feel so good.
The government says it's committed to helping grow local businesses to boost jobs and drive the nation's economic recovery, so Australia's less reliant on international supply chains.
It's a key part of our comeback from COVID.
Empowering more women to start their own venture.
We can do this. We're totally investable.
Olivia Leeming, 7 News.
A streaking capsule crashes down in the outback, bringing back an important sample from space. The incredible amount of money plunged into Queensland country towns after one weekend shopping trip. And Aussies dig deep to help a young boy who's allergic to the sun.
In the countdown to Christmas, Better Homes gave to me heaps of yummy food, festive decorations, crazy Christmas trees, and loads more ideas and recipes. We've got every minute of Christmas covered. Merry Christmas! Better Homes Countdown to Christmas starts Monday on 7.
This Christmas, share juicy, sweet, 100% Australian cherries. Now just $15 a kilo. Helping you share the spirit of Christmas. Woolworths.
Witches, they're real, and they hate children.
Grandma, is that you, boy? She's gonna turn every kid into a mouse.
Exterminate those brats. Rats.
You can't see the generous dash of Queen Vanilla in your Just Because cupcakes or your best ever birthday cake. But they can taste it. A little Queen does wonders.
The world needs more cooks, because with a hot pan and a little pack, a cook can tame the wild, feed the hungry, and transform nothing into everything. Where there are cooks, there is hope.
At Nurofen, we know demanding lives can cause headaches, but pain should never be in charge of your day. Unleash the speed of liquid with Nurofen's advanced liquid capsules. You do the full-on day, we'll sort the pain out fast.
Irresistibly smooth chocolate. Made to melt you. Lindor by the Lindt Master Chocolatier.
Make more of the things you want possible with Cash Converters. Life made possible.
Has your life been turned upside down by a road accident? Talk to Australia's #1 law firm. Morris Blackburn Lawyers will maximise your claim so you can get on with your life again. Call us now. It costs nothing to know where you stand.
Food supports local Aussie growers and is proudly Australian owned. Their chef-inspired, ready-made meals are created with the freshest of ingredients and delivered to your door nationwide. Try 7 meals for $55 today.
We're announcing something big. The big deal is now on at Mazda, and we're putting value on 2020 plate vehicles front and centre, like run-out CX-3 Neo Sport from $24,990 drive away. Search Mazda offers today.
Checking fuelcast now, and the RACQ says prices are low, so fill up the tank. The average price of unleaded is $1.14 in Brisbane and $1.11 on the Gold Coast. City slickers who spent up a storm in several regional towns yesterday calculated they've collectively injected close to $110,000 into the country communities. A busload of 350 people was sent west to places such as Warwick and Stanthorpe, responding to a call out on social media. As well as snapping up Christmas presents, they also dropped off donations to local charities. It was a history-making mission that came to a successful completion right here in the Australian outback. A Japanese space capsule this morning making a perfect landing, carrying samples from an asteroid and potential clues about the origins of our solar system.
After 6 years in space and travelling billions of kilometres, the Hayabusa 2 space capsule is finally back home on planet Earth.
The capsule is separating or not.
After making a dramatic entrance, creating a giant fireball across the sky, this is what scientists recovered from the capsule after a perfect landing in the Woomera prohibited area, 400 kilometres north of Adelaide, early this morning. Inside, samples from Ryugu, a 4.5 billion-year-old asteroid, which will help scientists study the origin and evolution of the solar system.
I'm happy now, of course, but it's more like feeling really relieved, you know. I think we now have lived up to the expectation of all my friends all over the world.
Not only is this an incredible scientific feat, the landing also cements Australia's place as a trusted partner in space. It's hoped our help with this mission will lead to more otherworldly work with international counterparts.
We're just proud to be doing a little bit to support your team.
Thank you for your help. It had to be Woomera.
Your team has been fantastic, so big congratulations from Australia.
Thank you very much.
As for the Hayabusa 2 spacecraft, it's now off to explore yet another asteroid. Its expected arrival, 2031. Elise Baker, 7 News.
Australians have generously donated more than $80,000 for a toddler with an incurable disorder, which means he can't be exposed to the sun. George's body can't repair damage from UV rays, drastically increasing his risk of skin cancer. His parents started the fundraiser so they could build him an indoor play area.
A place for us to be able to spend time as a family as normal as possible, not being segregated. It'll make a huge difference to his life and the life of our family.
His parents say they'll save the leftover money for the day a cure or treatment becomes available. Coming up, a freak weather event causes a strange sight around homes in Melbourne. And in flashback, the birth of the SES, what they were originally supposed to do. Now, Ben, there's been an SOS for our cricket team.
Yeah, that's right, Kendall. Mass changes. G'day, everyone. Australia lose their captain and strike bowlers for the T20s, while Test auditions begin as our A team take on the Indians in their first-class tour match. And a 7 exclusive inside the mind of the coach whisperer. His winning secrets in a rare interview.
Seven News with Sharon Gadella and Max Futcher every night at 6 o'clock.
Dive in to an endless summer of stars with 7plus.
It's always fun watching you flail around in a courtroom.
1, 2, 3, 4, show me what you got.
I love you, Ally McBeal.
You know I ain't never gonna stop.
It's not like I look bad naked.
Show me what you got.
911, what's your emergency?
The shows you love.
You're a part of this family.
Plus sizzling new dramas.
You shouldn't have kissed me.
Means your next obsession is right here.
Show me what you got.
Streaming for free on 7plus.
Real Christmas magic at Terry White Chemmart means real deals on your favourite brands and great value gift packs. Plus, earn double Qantas points for a limited time only. Real value every day at Terry White Chemmart. Christmas catalogue out now.
Gold Lotto's $30 million mega draw is on Saturday the 2nd of January. Grab an entry today for a chance to make your own mega memories. Wouldn't it be nice?
Shut up and take my money.
This is the Dyson Corral Straightener with manganese copper alloy plates that flex, shape and gather for enhanced styling with less damage. Dyson Corral.
Whole grains, aren't they great? That's why we put every single bit of these grains into our snacks. Delicious. Grainwaves, a whole lot of whole grains in every bite.
Here at Amart Furniture, the prices are falling on a huge range, including this stylish queen bed and up to 50% off big brand mattresses. So get in quickly. Amart Furniture, it just makes sense.
G'day everyone, Mitchell Starc will miss the final matches of the Indian T20 series, granted compassionate leave after an illness in the family. He's one of 3 changes for tonight's must-win at the SCG. Daniel Sams debuts with Josh Hazlewood rested after 4 games in 9 days, while Australia has a new captain, Matthew Wade, leading the side after Aaron Finch was ruled out with injury.
Yeah, really happy to be captain of Australia, childhood dream, mate, but yeah, everyone's fallen over, so someone had to stand up.
Wade relishing the responsibility early, striking at 200+. Marcus Stoinis and Andrew Tye are the other new faces. Well, the summer's most hyped Test audition with Joe Burns and Will Pucovski is on ice for 24 hours after the Indians decided to bat on day 1 of their tour match against Australia A. Rahane starred for the visitors with a cracking 100. Pattinson and Nisa showed they're ready to step up if needed.
David Warner's injury has gun rookie Will Bukowski likely to partner Joe Burns in Adelaide. The pair, though, must wait for day 2 to start formulating their own chemistry as the A bowlers had first crack.
Is that the first wicket of the match? It is.
Queenslander Michael Neser striking with his first delivery. That brought Chiteshwar Pujara to the middle. After facing more than 1,250 balls last series, the batting rock still hadn't shifted.
It's gone very fine.
It needed a leg side trap to net the right-hander.
Got him!
It was nice when they come off. We worked him over for a while there and he played pretty well. But yeah, nice to obviously see the back of him.
Chairman of Selectors Trevor Hones watched 3 wickets fall in the middle session, while a forgotten speedster reminded all his worth.
Pattinson likes it and it's given.
Ajinkya Rahane showed his undoubted class.
Pulled away.
The Indian vice-captain and Virat Kohli's likely replacement as skipper sweet-timed a path to a 34th first-class ton.
Oh, this has been a masterclass of technique and temperament.
Neser rewarded for a fair day's toil with a late scalp. All eyes on tomorrow and the A-side's top-order auditions.
For us, it's about getting through that first hour, setting the day up and hopefully putting a lot of overs into them.
Ben Dobson, 7 News.
The Wallabies are pleading with fans, Burn, time and time again to keep the faith. The Tri-Nations finale will always be remembered for a special rendition of the national anthem. Yeah, but it went downhill from there. A test match spoiled by contentious yellow cards, a red card and a performance the Wallabies admit wasn't close to good enough. 16 all, their second straight draw with a depleted Argentina left Australia with 1 win from their first 6 tests under coach Dave Rennie.
It has been really good, but without results, it doesn't show to everyone else. And you know, we're desperate for that.
We've got so much more in us, and looking forward to showing that next year.
And after recovering from COVID, Semi Radradra finally got to captain Fiji. The man who should have been a Wallaby, Nemani Nadolo, scored a hat-trick in their 38-24 win over Georgia. Mercedes has offered injured F1 driver Romain Grosjean a farewell ride next month if he's ruled out of next weekend's Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. But tonight, it's the Sikahir GP, where Dan Ricciardo sent sparks flying in qualifying. Still, the Aussie could only manage 7th.
I felt definitely the car was there for a top 5. We just got to understand probably where it went wrong.
Lewis Hamilton's replacement, George Russell, is on the front row, fractions of a second behind Mercedes teammate Valtteri Bottas, who's on pole. But for the out-of-contract Grosjean, last weekend's crash could be his final race, but not his final drive in F1. Well, Rally Championship leader Elfyn Evans all but gave up the title after crashing out in dangerous, icy second stage of the season.
You okay?
It was okay. The Italian Alps proved treacherous for the drivers, but provided a good photo op for spectators. Well, he's the mystery man who mentors Australia's greatest coaching talent, and tonight he finally reveals his methods. Bradley Charles Stubbs, the coach whisperer, has plenty of sceptics, but records show he is the secret weapon in 15 titles across 3 codes. He rarely gives interviews, but Stubbs let his guard down in a 7 News exclusive.
Controversial, intense, a 2-time mental institution escapee, and incredibly successful.
We've made a pact. If we didn't win the grand final, I'd cut my finger off and so would Michael Maguire.
Fortunately, South Sydney won in 2014, 3 months after Maguire hired Stubbs.
Still got them all.
A family man with a 30-year marriage and 3 children.
I truly believe in the way he thinks, and I've always been like that, and I truly believe in what the universe provides.
His clients range from celebrities to real estate agents.
So how's it all going at the moment? You got any miracles from the universe?
Honestly, he would bleed for them. And the coaches and the people, the clients that work with him 100% see that side of him.
And an impressive resume. Kevin Walters used him despite fierce criticism, while Checker, Jones, Arnold, Robinson, Maguire all won silverware with Stubbs.
I get them to believe so strong that they actually can see a result before it happens.
Such as the time he and Arnold visualised a 6-0 victory over Perth the day before their clash.
It wasn't only one time in Perth, 6-0, there was another time in Adelaide, beating Adelaide United 4-0.
What it does to the subconscious mind, it creates a frequency, and that frequency actually increases the oxygen to the blood that actually increases performance.
Just ask Trent Robinson, who sought out Stubbs in 2017.
Bradley's got an ability to push you on the way that you look at the positivity of the situation you're in, sort of the belief that you project.
And when I first started working with Trent, I had a vision. I told him we'd win 3 in a row, and sometimes you miss out on things. So, you know, we did 2.
He's seen as someone quite different and extreme, but if you spend any time with him, then you'll understand where he comes from.
His heart towards people, his compassion. Wow, just talking about Trent, it's very emotional.
A man who believes in bold expectations.
People who don't know him judge him, and that's upsetting for me.
He got me to go from crossing my arms on the sideline watching games to get not crossing my arms anymore because it cuts off the energy to the players.
I really think I've done nothing yet. I feel like I'm just starting.
Chris Garrett, 7 News.
The coach's coach, it's fascinating insight. We've got an extended version of Chris's story up on our Facebook page. Check it out. It is compelling viewing.
Worth a watch. Thanks, Ben. A tricky clean-up is underway in Melbourne's northwest, where dozens of homes were covered by tumbleweeds. The invasion was caused by strong winds yesterday. Residents today tried to clean up the grass. One man filled 47 large bags.
It's in every tree, every branch. I can't even see my dogs walking through it.
At least one resident has seen the lighter side. It's the volunteer organisation that keeps us safe during storm season. But that wasn't the reason the SES was first started. That's tonight in Flashback.
Yeah, we're about to see some pretty hefty storm activity across the southeast tomorrow afternoon. I'll have all those details after the break. Don't go anywhere.
From the brazen, the sophisticated, to the dumb, and even dumber. For months, they've been secretly recorded. Now, the exclusive video. Thieves treating building sites like self-service, stealing by the trailer load. A warning to Queensland tradies and home renovators. On 7 News, Monday.
He's trying to protect the most hunted man in the world, Ryan Reynolds. Denzel Washington, Safe House, tonight on 7.
3, 2, 1. Fast track into the new year and enjoy complimentary 5-year service inclusive across selected BMW demonstrator models. Book your test drive today.
Meet the revolutionary Sleeping Duck mattress taking Australia by storm. It's the next generation mattress reimagined by aerospace engineers, making history. Choices best overall mattress 2 years in a row. That's Sleeping Duck, one giant leap for your sleep.
The air we breathe is full of unseen airborne health risks. Introducing V-Breathe, the all-natural, intelligent and portable indoor air purifier and detoxifier. Shop now at vbreathe.com.
There is still magic wherever you are.
Cherish those golden to us this Christmas. Fragrant hazelnuts, smooth velvety chocolate. Say it with gold. Ferrero Rocher.
This Christmas, share succulent, award-winning Woolworths half-leg ham. 100% Australian pork, now just $9 a kilo. Helping you share the spirit of Christmas. Woolworths.
Check out Catch, where everyday Aussies are finding great Christmas deals. Like Keanu's Wreaths, Steve's Carols, Michael's Cane, and Ringo's Star. For anything Christmas and everything else, everyday Aussies, check out Catch.
If your mouth is made to amaze, let Philips Sonicare give its care a raise. Advanced Sonicare technology. For a complete clean. Next level clean, next level care. There's always a way to make life better. Philips Sonicare.
Hey, Paddy, chuck us an apple, will you?
You got it. I take it Paddy's with Linter Energy.
Yeah, of course. Especially with a great energy deal. Paddy, chuck us a water, mate.
It's why over 1 million Australians have joined them.
How good's that? Hey, Paddy, don't forget the snacks. You got it.
Switch to Alinta Energy, supporting your home team.
Don't let hay fever control your life. Choose Telfast, Australia's #1 allergy brand from Chemist Warehouse. It provides fast, non-drowsy relief from hay fever symptoms. So shut the door on hay fever and open up your world with Telfast.
I saw them. I knew they were gone.
The most powerful story of the year.
Half your family in one go.
What you will see will touch every Australian.
These 4 kids are special.
7 News presents In the Blink of an Eye.
Next.
This weather report brought to you by Telfast, available from Chemist Warehouse.
Today's main stories now. 2 fathers are being remembered as heroes after they drowned trying to rescue their children from rough surf on the Sunshine Coast. Rescuers have completed a difficult rescue of 2 hikers stranded overnight on Mount Superbus. And plans have been unveiled of Brisbane's new mega park, but it'll be years before it's complete. We're going to need them this summer. The State Emergency Service is expecting a busy few months in an active storm and cyclone season. But in 1961, when the organisation was formed, its only role was helping Queenslanders deal with nuclear attack. Rod Young reports.
In the 60s, we feared nuclear attack, so the Queensland Civil Defence Organisation was formed. Volunteers were trained to calculate when it was safe to emerge from a nuclear strike.
This is a personal radiometer used to measure the radiation that we are exposed to personally, and this item here is one of the items we use to calculate how long we have before we can get out into an area after the radiation is cleared.
But instead of nuclear bombs falling, nature attacked. Volunteers responded to a cyclone in 1971 and a Brisbane tornado in 1973. 51 kilometres of destruction from Brookfield into Kenmore Hills, Taringa, Annerley, Yeronga and McGregor, then out to Moreton Bay. Volunteers activated in Brisbane for the first time. In 1974, they helped during the Brisbane floods. Premier Sir Joby Elka-Peterson ordered civil defence be turned into the State Emergency Service.
We weren't asked, they just said, well, this is what you're going to be doing. Getting up on roofs and temporary repairs and this sort of thing.
This storm season, they'll deal with hail damage, damaged roofs, Queensland towns in flood and a likely cyclone crossing.
It's going to be an active season. We're seeing that already. We've had some very damaging storms come through and the impact on that on families and communities has been quite profound.
They'll protect people, property, even pets, venturing onto slippery roofs to save homes, rescue injured bushwalkers, searching for missing people, helping out at fires, looking for clues at crime scenes, and deal with whatever nature throws at Queensland.
If you see an SES volunteer, thank them for their work.
Charlie Bowie was just happy he never had to respond to nuclear disaster.
Fortunately, no. There was never any reason to do it.
And what will the weather throw at us this week, Bertie?
Yeah, fascinating stuff there too, Kendall. Hello, everyone. Well, dry conditions come Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Showers moving into the next weekend, but let's talk about that later this week. Let's talk about tomorrow because we are forecasting to see some severe storm activity pushing through, being triggered from these hot northerlies. But today, we sweltered through another hot day across the southeast, particularly in the west. 43 for those out around Gatton, 40 degrees for Ipswich. I was at Tamborine, North Tamborine today, getting upwards of around 36 to 37 degrees there. 35 for Logan, 33 in the city, 31 to 30 around the coastal strips. Again, that sea breeze cooling it down. To the charts now, you can see that inland trough system triggering some activity in the far southwestern parts of the country, moving towards the coast. That's pushing that pocket of hot air towards us again. So we've got another day of that, or 2 days in fact, before the Wednesday cool change comes through. But we will see some storm activity tomorrow. Hit time, 4 p.m. through till about 8 p.m. tomorrow night. That's when I'll be gunning for it. And of course, that'll affect areas from Gympie to obviously the Ranges, Toowoomba, the Downs and northern New South Wales. Take a look around the nation. Cold change for the far southern majors, 18 degrees for Melbourne, 19 for Canberra, hot and 30 for Sydney and also 17 Hobart. Back to the tropics, mostly dry up there, 34 to top for Cairns, 33 the highs for Townsville and Mackay, sunny and 40 for Mount Isa. Further south now, clear conditions along the coastal stretch, pretty much from Rockhampton down to around Harvey Bay. Some storm activity moving through the western majors. 37 degrees for Roma, 33 the high there for Toowoomba. Back home now, here we go. It's going to be partly cloudy to start with, looking pretty good for the first part of the day. Actually, it's looking great up till about 1 o'clock, and then we'll start to see the storms brewing in the west. By 4 or 5 p.m, they'll start to impact areas around Ipswich, obviously the range first, and then it'll come closer to the coast, upwards of around 25 to 40 millimetres. So could be seeing some good falls out of those systems as well. 34 degrees for Brisbane, of course, 38 in Ipswich, 32 coastal regions. Bodie's northerly wind, strong wind warning, 30 knots, seas 2 metres. Forget about the open grounds. 34 degrees, the top there for the city, down to 26 overnight. It's going to be muggy on Tuesday morning with a high of 34 degrees. Cooling down on Wednesday, 27, back up to 29 on Thursday. Similar for Ipswich, 35 and clear on Tuesday. Cooler change of 30 on Wednesday. Gold Coast, 31 and muggy on Tuesday, 26 on Wednesday, looking forward to that, 27 Thursday. And on the Sunshine Coast, top of 32 degrees on Tuesday, 27 for both Wednesday and Thursday. And Kendall again, late afternoon storm activity. Could be some good hail in that as well. Take it easy.
We're bracing for that cool change. Thanks, Bertie. And that's all from us this Sunday. Thanks for your company. We'll have updates throughout the evening. But now from all the team, good night.